All right, everybody. You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Everybody, welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. We welcome you back into the lockdown living room. And we can't use that name anymore because I was out and about over the last 2 weekends. And it feels like we're back to 2018, baby. I had the shades on like this. Bam! We were out in the middle of it. We hit the streets and we checked out some restaurants. And it's on and popping, guys. So we are excited, but cautiously excited about the prospects of things returning back to some type of normalcy. Again, you don't want to get out there and get buck wild, but again, we thank you for joining us here on the Real Talk Sports Show. Of course, when I'm on the show, you know I have one of the most beautiful women in sports talk radio today. She is known simply as the Queen. Miss Tree Dolman is in the building. Welcome back.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing all right.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. You look nice as well.
Thank you very much. It was a great weekend. Lots of sun and pretty cool. So what did you do this weekend?
I worked.
Uh-oh.
Why you say uh-oh? Well, I will say for me, work is fun because I work doing what I love. And
okay.
I have bracelets to send out and making bracelets and also working on the website. I'm working on our virtual 5K that we're doing at the end of the month, all for brain cancer research. I've been working long hours, but again, it's rewarding because it's all for a great cause.
Yeah, and that's what counts. I mean, the idea is that, you're doing something that is marvelous. It's something that is wonderful and it's going to impact people all across the board. So definitely kudos to you for what you're doing. And now, if I'm not mistaken, we can actually get a handmade bracelet. Is that correct? This is something that is custom made.
Yes, all of the bracelets are handmade, and I don't want people to think, oh, it's handmade. It's not. I'm the type, the Lord has blessed me with many talents. These are professional bracelets, and I did a lot of research on how to make professional bracelets and watched a lot of videos and, did the best method. So these bracelets are very well made and I do everything with perfection. So that's why it takes me so long, is because I put a lot of time and a lot of research into the things that I do.
Yeah, so definitely we look forward to getting a bracelet. Like I said, I'm going to order mine because you do have it for men and women. Is that correct?
Yes, I have men's and women's, and the men's is also unisex because some women do like to wear the lava bead stones. So it's our men's and our unisex, but most of the men do wear the lava beads.
Okay, and that would probably be me. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'm excited about doing that. But speaking of excited, we have big news from the world of sports. Our Atlanta Hawks have made the postseason. Good news there. Also good news, football time is here in the state of Georgia. That's right, boys and girls. All the camps are open. Spring practice have happened in high school. Spring practice is going on in college. As a matter of fact, we got some games coming up very, very shortly. As a matter of fact, we had some games that just happened this past weekend. We got more games coming up this week as well. So high school football is happening. Falcons rookies are in camp. How about that?
Yeah, let's get them going.
All those draft picks, all the free agents, they're all in camp. So we're excited about having them all that accessible to you. And the Braves are back. A little scary last night. But before we get into that, speaking of high school football, I'm going to bring a guy in right now. He can sing the song because we are the champions of the world. This gentleman played on the last Clayton County team to win the football state title. But now, he has moved on and has done wonderful things. He is a dad. He also is a motivational speaker. He has a great organization, which we are going to be spotlighting today. He has a book called The Student Athlete Playbook. but I know him as Double B. Mr. Bally Brown is back in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing this evening?
Sir, I'm doing very well. And yourself?
I'm doing wonderful, my brother. Wonderful. Yes, sir.
And
How
who
you
could
doing,
not
Miss
be?
Tree?
There you go.
Doing all right. How are you doing, Mr. Brown?
Doing wonderful. Thank you. Thank y'all for having me this evening.
Welcome
Who could
to the
not
show.
be well? Share the stage with the Queen.
Oh
just
yeah.
saying.
Hey, when you get the chance to be on air with the Queen or any queen of that matter,
Any Queen.
hey,
Yes, sir.
it's a beautiful night. So thank y'all. Thank you, Tree. Pleasure
That was
meeting
a good suit. The pleasure meeting you as well.
Yes, sir. So, again, just real briefly here, I don't know if you guys saw, but we had something that really could have turned into a tragedy last night. Fortunately, did not. Braves playing against the Mets, and one of the Braves pitchers, as you do, it's from Major League Baseball, uncorked a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yes,
But instead of striking the bat of the Mets player, it hit him squarely across the bridge of his nose and split it wide open. Really horrific scene, blood everywhere. But thankfully, he appears to be recovering. So thank God for that. But yeah, very scary moment last night.
Mm-hmm. Very. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things about baseball, Minister, that, anytime you're in that batter's box and these guys are throwing 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, it's a dangerous situation for anybody. And, the batters are trained to stay in that box and look at the rotation of the ball and the whole nine. But when the ball's coming that fast, you're just not going to be able to get out the way sometimes. And that's what you saw last night. And one of the critical things, and you talk about empathy and caring about other people, I saw the reaction of the Braves pitcher, and he was definitely affected by that ball hitting him, the Mets player, in the face. So it's a sad situation, but I'm very happy that the pitcher showed some remorse for that happening.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It was like you said, very, very scary. We know that pitchers, have to pitch inside, and really kind of from if you watch the film, it's almost like the guy almost kind of somewhat turned into the pitch, which kind of made it, it wasn't anything that the pitcher did. But yeah, thank God that he apparently is recovering, and hopefully we'll have no further injuries. I mean, further impact from the injury. Like I say again, the pitch was clocked at about 98 miles an hour. So
yeah, I know that hurt. I know when I was in the 8th grade, when I first started playing softball and I was a first baseman, it was really sunny out. We were at practice, 8th graders. So the ball isn't coming nearly as fast as what was thrown yesterday. And I had my glove to grab the ball because it was coming. And somehow the ball went over top of my glove and bam, hit me right here. And I went down, and it was kind of like on the cartoon where that's what it felt like my eye was doing. And then when I put my hand there, like my eye, this part of my eye was out here. And that was a softball. And again, not even close to how hard and how fast the ball yesterday was going. So I'm very sure it was very painful. And like Barry said, I was also pleased to see that the Braves pitcher, he did look very remorseful, and you can tell he didn't do it intentionally. And I just really wish for a speedy recovery for the player.
Yeah, no doubt. It was definitely a scary thing. And we have another co-host with us, Barry, as you can see right here. Let's go and zoom in on our co-host. She doesn't say much, but very stylish on camera. Yeah. So give a big shout out to our co-host.
What's up? To get her camera time.
Right.
That's right. That's right. I see the little heart necklace there,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're
the dog.
If you're gonna bring the co-host out, they gotta be styling, right? I mean, can't run with the queen be looking shabby.
Hey, I expect the whole royal court to be looking outstanding.
You already know that's how that works. Like I say, guys, you're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show. We're broadcasting on every single portal we could find. We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube Live, we're on Periscope, we're on Twitter TV. We're also on the Amazon channel called Twitch. And we're also on the Roku. We are on the Phoenix Entertainment channel. And we're also on the C Room Sports and Entertainment channel as well. So thank all of those of you who have tuned in tonight on the live broadcast. We appreciate you. Yeah, man. So like I said, great stuff going on here in Atlanta. Hawks are right in the middle of it. And kind of what's been your perspective, Tree? I know you've been very excited being a former baller yourself. What's kind of been your take of the Hawks now the season is over?
Can we all just give the Hawks a round of applause?
Hey,
I am so excited because I felt that the Hawks, and you heard me say this, I really felt like they could have made a 4th, 5th, or 6th seed in the playoffs. And it was just a huge turnaround once they got the new coaching. I'm happy and excited to see how they fight through games. Even if they're down, they come back. They never give up, and they all believe. And you hear the players saying it over and over again. It's because we believe. And it's so important, which I always say it's all mental. When you're an athlete, you have to believe in your heart that no matter what, we are not losing this game. You have to play with a mindset like that. And that's when the wins start coming. And so they have been winning. I'm very excited to see how they will play against the Knicks. And I feel that we will win a couple of rounds in the playoffs because the team, they're all fighting. It doesn't matter if it's the starters or if it's the players coming off of the bench. They're all contributing. And the 3-point shots, oh my goodness, we have so many players that can shoot that 3 and it's lights out.
Yeah, no doubt. You look at this team; they're very well balanced. Just a real excellent team. And here, we know the guy who's been the key has been this man right here. I'm gonna pop this up on the screen for those of you watching. Nate McMillan, guy they brought in as the interim coach, which I think they're gonna have to change that moniker from interim to head coach, permanent head coach. A guy that right. Since he came on board, let's take a look. These were his stats. This was his credentials before. Okay, the guy had coached with Seattle from 2000 to 2005, Portland from 2005 to 2012, and with the Indiana Pacers from 2016 until last year. Now, check this out. The guy had a 528 winning percentage. He's won over 661 regular season games and has participated in over 50 postseason games. So talking about a guy that's in the right place at the right time for the Hawks, there's no doubt that Nate McMillan, I think, is the right guy for the job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, well, first of all, the players, well, let me start over for a second. When they actually fired Lloyd Pierce and made Nick McMillan the coach, a lot of people are like, hey man, what's going on? But now it's clear that this was the right move. And the Hawks, I mean, this has been the best move the Hawks have made in a very, very long time when it comes to coaching and the whole nine. So I'm very happy for Nick McMillan. And listen, I thought they were going to do this last year, but last year was a very tough year in the entire world. So this year, the Hawks, led by Trey Deuce, you know what I'm saying? like Tree said, he's the 3 maker. I don't call him the rainmaker. I call him the 3 maker. And he is leading this team. And let me tell you something. Him and John Collins paired together can play for a long time in this league. And if the Hawks continue to make great decisions, we can see the Hawks rise in the Eastern Conference to competing for a chance to go to the finals here in the next couple of years. So I'm excited to see it, and we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens here in the playoffs. I love it though.
I'm going to shock the world right now. I want you guys to listen. And Jonathan, a lot of times people think I'm crazy when I say things, but we saw that I predicted the Super Bowl 55 matchup when before the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were, anybody thought they were going to the Super Bowl, and I predicted that they would win it. Did I not, Jonathan? Yes.
That is correct. Yeah, she was making.
And what about 5 or 6 weeks before the Super Bowl? So yes, okay. So, but I'm about to shock the world because we see that the only change that they made was the head coach. He kept all of the assistant coaches. He kept all of the players. There was no change in the staff. There was no change in the team outside of the head coach. And look at the difference that the Hawks have made. So the prediction that I'm about to make right now, which is going to shock the world, if the Hawks can keep on Nate as the head coach, which they should do, if they give John Collins his money, which they should do, and if we can keep the majority of the team, Clint, with all his rebounds, the number 1 rebounder in the league, you watch and see that either next year or the year after, we will be a championship team in the finals. Watch that. We actually will be able to win a finals.
Wow.
Yeah, bold prediction, but it's. I mean, if you look at the
Wow.
team, they do have the. Barry is still just stunned. He said, "Wow."
Hey, well, I mean, well, I said it too. I said compete. I said compete in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tree said they're going to the champ. They're gonna win the. Hey, I'm a native Atlantan. I go all the way back to the Omni days. Dominique Wilkins, Tree Rollins, Doc Rivers. So hey, a Roundtree, contract, the contract. I go all the way back. Spud Webb. Hey, I go back to those days. So shout out to the Atlanta Hawks and the Pony High Top sneakers. How about that?
Okay.
Wow, he done went
But
all
you
the
know,
way back.
when you think about it, when the Hawks are playing great basketball and when they're playing defense, they can play with anybody. Now, do I think that we need to get one more key person on the team to do that? Yes. But with Trey, John Collins, Clint, Bogey, you know, the guys that we have, we just get one more piece. It can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, again, this team has got plenty of talent, and they should be able to go a long way. And I look forward for them to make an impact. Matter of fact, we had a chance to have one of the young guns who got a chance finally to play for the Hawks the other day. That's the other thing, too, which I think was really very critical for the Hawks. The fact they were able to get their backup players out there, that second team, guys that for the most part had not played the whole year, to be able to come out and be able to get some minutes. And I thought that was huge. So, yeah, I'm looking forward for the Hawks to do some really key stuff here as we get into the playoffs. I would not be shocked if the Hawks don't not only knock off the Knicks here in this first round, but also be able to go on and do some damage in the second round. I just think that they have a team that is going to surprise a lot of people. This team is playing with a desire. They're playing with an energy, and I just think that they're going to be a tough out no matter who they play. So yeah, look for the Hawks to do some room. For those of you who didn't know, they knocked off the Houston Rockets. They ended the year in fine style, winning 4 straight games, including a 124-95 blowout. Final game actually was held at State Farm Arena. So again, kudos to the Hawks for doing what they had to do, not saying, okay, we're playing a Houston team, not, kind of saying, hey, we're out of it. We can't do it. I'm saying out of it. We couldn't get to the 4th seed. They went out and they really played like a team that is ready to make some noise in postseason. So again, take a look at the Knicks. Take a look at the Hawks and see what they are going to do. And I think they're going to make some serious noise. I'm going to let you guys take a listen to him. I always kind of get his name wrong, but he's a young man drafted in the number 10 spot out of Maryland, I believe. Okongwu. Let's kind of take a listen to him and hear his thoughts after the big win of the final game of the season. So congratulations on the win tonight, and you guys closing out 4 straight wins. You talked a little bit about chemistry. How did you guys put together the kind of chemistry you did, considering you had so many new players, rookies, players from other teams, and of course the core with John Collins and the rest of the guys in Trey?
Like I said before, just with time, it's a very talented team. It's basically a brand new roster.
We're going to try to reboot that one more time, see if we can get it to kind of spin a little bit faster. Here we go, one more time with our interview. So congratulations on the win tonight, and you guys closing out 4 straight wins. You talked a little bit about chemistry. How did you guys put together the kind of chemistry you did, considering you had so many new players, rookies, players from other teams, and of course the core with John Collins and the rest of the guys in Trey?
Like I said before, just with time, it's a very talented team. It's basically a brand new roster from last year's team. A lot of new players, a lot of new faces. So with time, with reps, getting familiar with each other's game, that was key for us. So with the more reps we got, more acclimated we got with each other, the better we performed out there.
And how big was that? So many guys got reps tonight going into the playoffs, many of you guys for the very first time.
It was good.
Well, I hope you guys were able to hear some of the interview. I'm not sure because on my end, it kind of froze for a second there. Were you guys able to hear the interview and see it?
Yeah, it was no problem either time. That's why I was shocked when you restarted. It on our end was great.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's what I need to know. So that was young Mr. Okongwu. He had a big game for the Hawks in that final game of the season. This is the kind of way they wanted him to play. 23 points, 15 rebounds for the young man, and he really was dominant in the paint. And I think really that's going to be the key. Can he give the Hawks that extra presence in the paint? Because if they get, well, first of all, first things first, they got to take on the Knicks. But certainly if they get past that first round, both teams, you look at Milwaukee, obviously has height. You look at the 76ers, they bring a lot of height to the table. So the fact that they have this young man, Mr. Congo, able to come in, also Bruno Fernando, all these guys got key minutes, and all these guys are 6'10" and above. They can play defensively, and I think if they can kind of combine with what we already have with John Collins and Clint Capella, the Hawks are going to be a tough out.
Absolutely. Well, again, the athleticism of the Hawks may surprise a lot of people, but we got to remember this team is so young, and when you got a Capella who's a veteran on this team, he brought a lot of stability on the defensive end. I thought that was a great move when they got him. So again, leadership, experience, and athleticism, it wins in every sport. Let me say that again. Athleticism, experience, and the eagerness to play, listen, that's going to win ball games. And now the Hawks have every piece of the game to go and do some damage in the playoffs. Like I say, I don't think this is their year to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but in the future, in the near future, I think the Hawks will be there. Yes, sir.
All right, Tree, you better jump in. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Like he said, Clint Capella, the number one rebounder in the NBA. That is huge for the playoffs. We all know that rebounds make a difference. So if you're getting defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, it's a game changer. And then also John Collins. Oh my goodness. Have you looked at his defense and the block shots that he makes where someone's going up for a dunk or a shot and it's just like, oh, we all think, yeah, that's going to be a great dunk. And he just comes out the blue and clean block. I think that with the defense and we can continue making moves like that in the paint, running defense, I think that the Hawks will shock a lot of people.
Yeah, so the big thing, I think the key, speaking of John Collins, I think the turnaround point, at some point, whatever Nate McMillan was selling, John Collins finally started to buy. Because if you remember, and Tree, we talked about this on the show, as much as John was, getting his points and getting his minutes, he was feeling some kind of way that in his, season that he's trying to push for a max deal, that he was no longer the number two guy, go-to guy as far as points. And he kind of came out and he kind of sighed around, mentioned that in the last couple of interviews, but he talked about the fact that he was willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win. And that's really kind of the big thing for both he and Trey to say, look, you know what? We know that we can be all-star caliber players, but we're trying to win championships. And like I said, that's been the difference with John Collins, because you got to admit the last 2 weeks, he has been what we saw 2 years ago. He has been a double-double every night. He now has an outside game to go along with his inside game. He's a deadly three-point shooter. He's shooting around 40% from three. So there's no doubt that his but his additional intensity down the stretch has been a big key for the Hawks doing what they did to end the season.
That's true, but I think that he was playing that way before 2 weeks ago. It was just that when he was playing really great and scoring a lot of points and scoring double-doubles, remember he had that really bad ankle injury that had him out for a little while. And so when he first came back, I just felt like it took him a little while to get back into his rhythm, where now he's back in his rhythm. And so I think we're starting to see the John Collins that we were starting to see before he got injured. And I think that he is a huge key to the Hawks' success. So I do agree with you there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Minister, let me say this.
Hit it. Go ahead. Hit it.
You said some words that are key to any situation. Intensity. Playing with a chip on your shoulder. See, we live in a society now where people think cats are great. They playing on a losing team. I'm talking about winning 16 games out of 82 games. And I've heard young people and older people, oh, that guy's great. He's awesome. Look what he's doing. And it's like, wait a minute. Basketball is a team sport. They only won 16 games. And you calling this dude great? Nah. If you so great, you should be able to lead your team to some victories. I'm not saying you're going to be able to lead them to a championship by yourself, but if you're really that good, you should lead your team to a lot of victories. And what we've seen this year is the culmination of Trae Young taking his knocks and understanding, hey man, scoring 25 points a night and you losing doesn't mean anything. And so that's the difference I see in Trey, and most definitely with Jason Collins. Hey, he had to pick it up, or they're going to be trading him and getting rid of him. And so these young players have to learn that, hey, it's about team first. Jonathan, Tree, y'all probably remember this. When we were back in the day when we were in high school, our schools used to get us little T-shirts, and it said Team Me. Big team and little me was underneath it. Y'all remember those shirts? So that's what these players of today need to learn how to do. Team first, me second, and you can definitely stand out and be a star within a team concept. It happens every day, and the superstars know how to do it the best.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man, that, you know, like you said, again, it's the team has really found a way to start to play, like you said, team ball. And that's really the big thing, man. And these guys are really, you know, he talked about the fact that how they've had to really subjugate their games, you know, because Trey is a scorer. I mean, the bottom line is we saw the year that he was an all-star, you know, he had games where he lit it up, man, 40-something points and still double-digit assists, and he was basically a one-man wrecking crew. But, in fact, the Hawks weren't winning because he was by himself. And same thing when they had him and John Collins. They weren't winning because it was just those two. So these guys now have the extra pieces. They have Bogdanovich. They have Gallinari. And the big thing is the fact that they were able to get back the Andre Hunter before the playoffs start, because this guy is a great defender, and he's going to be a big key in how they slow down Julius Randle, who's eaten the Hawks alive in the games they played this year.
Yeah, I think Lou Williams is also a huge help with the team because he comes off of the bench and look at how he scores. He's a playmaker and he's a veteran. So he knows what it's like, and he can bring that to the younger players, and that knowledge will also be helpful. And on that note, I just want to say, when you were talking about the Hawks and how it was just Trey and John Collins, and it's funny because I have a John Collins jersey, right? But the funniest part about that is that when I purchased this jersey in 2017, I went in the Hawks store and I knew I wanted a jersey, but it took forever to figure out whose jersey I wanted, because it wasn't just like you know how normally you go on a team, oh, I want a LeBron jersey. You already know what jersey you want. And I was just like, man, I'm looking at all the jerseys and I'm like, I don't know. It took me the longest to find. I said, oh, okay, I'll pick him. He's a post player, you know. It's the funniest story, because now having his jersey, you know, a lot of people go in, oh, I want a John Collins jersey, but it's so funny how I got the jersey, because it was just like, okay, I'll take this one because of the position. But I just think that's hilarious now. And now I'm like, yay, I made a great choice, because now he's actually one of the star players. So funny story about how I have my John Collins jersey.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That is kind of funny, Ms. Tree, because to be honest with you, you know, you like on John Collins. If I say anything about John Collins, it's immediately there's a rebuttal. I mean, she'll agree with you, but it's like around the side. She was like, well, like, she said she agreed with me about Collins, but she said, well, it's because he was hurt. What about his contract?
She did
that look like this.
I just keep it honest. I really didn't think that he was. I didn't think he was salty about his contract. I know you did, but you also have to look at the fact that me being an athlete, I just think about how many things can go on in the locker room that actually has nothing to do with what's going on the court, and it can affect what's going on the court. So that's the only reason I was saying that. And I wasn't saying that you weren't correct, because I don't know, but I was just saying that could be another possibility. When you were saying that he and Trey were having issues, I said, well, it actually could have nothing to do with basketball. It could be something outside of basketball, but it's affecting how they play. And that's all I was saying. But I wasn't defending him. I was just saying that could be a possibility.
Hey, Minister, you got to remember, these guys are in their mid-20s. Yeah. They are of the social media era and age. And these guys pay attention to everything on social media. They can sit up there and say they don't, but trust and believe, those guys on Instagram, those guys on Snapchat, hey, they are watching what's being said about them. And it does, I'm with Tree, it does affect them in some way. I can guarantee you that.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna say this. Okay, so I want everybody to get the close up. See that beautiful smile right there? I want y'all
Joe
to see
Cool.
that. See the hair cascading down in the middle there, Miss Dolman. Okay, so now I want y'all to see that because see when you notice, see a couple of little smooth moves. First, she said, "Hey, you don't know," and then she said, "Hey, I play ball." Saying, "Oh, that's
right.
how we gonna do it." Like I didn't play. Okay, so that's first shot. She after the queen. That's all smooth. That's
She just trying to let you know she didn't play with the peach basket.
right.
That's what
for
she
real?
trying to tell you, Minister.
Are we gonna do it like that? Okay, I tell you what we're gonna do right here. We about to go to a break so I can regroup myself. Y'all listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. Y'all on social media, I see the comments. Okay, just you keep it locked right here. We'll be back for more. Oh yeah, he played the peach basket. Yeah, that's some stuff. Doggone it. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
All right, we're back, guys. You listen to the Real Talk Sports Show or watching Real Talk Sports Show. We want to give a big shout out. I forgot earlier to those who are watching on the replay on Periscope. We thank you so much. Thank you for those who are watching on demand on YouTube, and also, of course, to those of you who have always followed us here on social media on Facebook Live. Look, so I want to give a big shout out here to a young lady that is doing some big stuff. She is going to be having a pop-up event on June the 5th. We're hoping to bring her back onto the show so she can talk to you more about it. We're looking forward to partner with us with a sponsorship. And we're going to be out there actually working with WIGO 1570 on June the 5th. Is right in the middle of downtown Jonesboro, right on the main drag there. The Marty Events, off the chain, one of the best event centers in Atlanta. Again, we're going to bring you more about that. And the lovely owner will be hopefully joining us in future broadcasts. Let's go to social media right quick here before we bring on our main man to talk some NFL and other things in social media. The man that used to be known as the Philip Man on Periscope, he now goes by his regular name, plain old Todd on YouTube. And Todd is saying immediately before he does anything else.
Hi, Todd.
It goes right there. Okay, and also Todd is talking about big talk around the Falcons camp this week. Made headlines on ESPN. The kid got pranked, showed up, said, why not try him out anyway? He paid his way, and players were on the field. So evidently, a guy walked on. I didn't really see that headline, so we're going to check that out. Also, Todd is saying the Hawks are balling, but we need a big man in the center. Todd, clearly you're not watching the games, okay? Clint Capella, 15.5 points a game, 14.2 rebounds, leads the NBA. So what other big man you need, bro? I love you, but no. Yeah, they got a big man. They just need more. Well, speaking of needing more, always need more on the show, especially when we talk about football.
Ooh. Before we go to football, can I say one thing about basketball?
No, it's important. Go ahead.
I have to give a huge shout out to Chris Webber, who is getting inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Chris Webber, I have been watching him play basketball since high school when he was at Detroit Country Day. And I am so happy. This is the best Hall of Fame induction that I've seen in basketball just because this one is personal. And I'm so happy for him. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Chris Webber and his family because I am super proud. And you're making all of us in Detroit super proud as you always have.
Yeah, and forgive me for kind of rushing along because, in fact, it was considered one of the greatest Hall of Fame groups of all time. Chris Webber, of course, joining the late, great Kobe Bryant and many others that were in there. Also, if from your Detroit area, you had a guy that I was shocked. Man, I'm just drawing a blank now, but he was 3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace, Big Ben Wallace, a guy that didn't even average double figures for his career, inducted to the NBA Hall of Fame because he was not once, not twice, but 3 times NBA Defensive Player of the Year, and I think 6 or 7 times on voted first team All NBA defense. So showing you that.
Yes.
I
But
mean,
what was it? It was his rebounding. That's what it was. Ben Wallace was a rebounder, just like Dennis Rodman was. So that's why Ben Wallace was voted on these teams, is because of the rebounds that he was getting.
Absolutely. And undrafted, Minister.
Right.
He was not drafted. Yes, sir.
Well, all I know is this. Once again, I have to go to my shades.
We got the Detroiters in the house, even though we play for the Pistons. But,
D-Town.
D-Town. The D's representing.
Okay, a couple of things I forgot. Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
the Queen is always very elegant, but if you want to see her get animated, you talk about the following
Detroit.
thing: Detroit, Michigan, and anybody that plays the 4 to 5, because she played the 4, so she's like anything about to do with the big man. Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she telling you she been telling you about that post. She got post moves and the whole 9. So them tough streets of Detroit, Michigan raised her and got her ready to play ball in the paint. Man, we go hard in the paint. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right. And it's all about that Detroit basketball.
Wow. All right. Well, let me go ahead and transition and get some help in here. Okay, the next gentleman I'm going to bring on here. He is a Georgia man through and through. Played right down the road from us here on the south side in LaGrange, one of the legendary programs down there. Later went on to Fort Valley State and became one of the handful of men in recent times to be drafted in the first round from HBCU school. He later went on to play for more than a decade in NFL, including a stint with the New England Patriots, where he not one, but 2 world titles. Matter of fact, he is now the defensive back coach with an HBCU, of course, Clark Atlanta University. I'm talking about motivational speaker, dad, and all-around good guy. Tyrone Poole is in the building.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Miss Tree. Hello, Minister. How you doing? Barry, how you doing? Hello, all the listeners and viewers that are watching Real Talk Sports. It's an honor to be on the show once again.
Amen, brother. It's good to see you. Good to see that smile, and we're ready for the anecdotes. Of course, as soon as you come on, bro, social media start to light up. Barry,
That's right.
because they sniffing now. See, they're sniffing. We're gonna start to talk some football, and of course, Barry. If we're gonna talk some football now, you know who's lurking out there on social media.
I already know. I already know who's on
them
the
Hawks now. Let's not move away from them Hawks either. Now,
right?
I probably showing them love, but the Hawks are doing pretty good too. But go ahead though, football, Barry. Y'all take it over.
Hey, Minister, before we get started with Tyrone Poole, hey, let me tell you something, Tyrone. I met you over at the Atlanta Food Bank years ago. At a program you were speaking, and then while you were coming out of college, it's 2 defensive backs that I knew were in my size range, and I looked up to you all when you were down at Fort Valley, and the other one was Clayton Holmes that was over at Carson Newman at the time, and I actually played against him. I didn't get a chance to play against you, and I remember this, and I use it when I'm talking and working with our young people. When we talk about no matter where you go,
yes,
you can make it.
Yes.
And I always bring up your name, and I bring up Clayton Holmes because I say, hey, the fastest corner in the 2 drafts that they were in, they were Division II football players, and they were the fastest DBs in the country.
Come on,
and that's why both of them got drafted high. You went in the first round. I think Clayton Holmes went in the 3rd round, but these 2 guys got drafted high, and they weren't the biggest cornerbacks out there. They were just one of the best and definitely the fastest. So salute to you, my brother. And I definitely remember you down there in Fort Valley and meeting you in person when I got the chance to meet you, man. So kudos to you, my brother.
Man, praise God, man. Praise God. And don't get me started about that size now. I come with my long story. I told the lion story. The lion. I gotta say it now. I gotta say it because it may be the first time somebody's ever listening to the show. So everybody, get in your corners. They go to our amen corner. Hey, man, we about to bring it now. The lion. The lion gets rid of all excuses that we have, that we can come up with, that you gotta be big. It's the size, or it's how smart you are, or it's how tall you are. The lion erases all that. And what I mean by that is the lion is the king of the jungle. Why is the lion the king of the jungle? It's not the tallest. It's not the biggest. It's not the smartest. They say the hyena and the snake is smarter than the lion. The hippopotamus and the elephant are bigger than the lion. The giraffe is taller. But why, when this small cat comes around, that the rest of these animals respect it? They respect it because of the attitude of that lion. So all y'all out there who saying I can't do it because they say I'm too small, I'm too slow, I'm too big, I'm too skinny, or whatever the case may be, whatever your excuse may be, go look up that lion, okay? It's all about the altitude, the attitude, should I say. Your attitude gonna get you to that altitude. So you gotta have the right attitude. You gotta have an attitude of belief in yourself. Now let's pass the collection plate around.
Amen. Well, that's how we do it here. Mr. Poole's gonna bring it to you straight, no chaser. Well, speaking of no chaser, right, let's go to social media because we know the guy that actually got me started in this business, Mr. Football, Vincent W. Turner, is chiming in on social media, and he says, first of all, God bless and much love to his man Barry Brown. And his daughter, because your daughter graduated, Barry, is that right? This past week? There you
yes,
go.
sir.
Shout
Yeah, graduated this past Saturday, man. Yeah, man. We very thankful and grateful, brother, by far.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
And of course, he has to shout out to 901 and the fact that he is a lifetime Cowboys fan. I don't know what anybody cares about that anymore, but I mean, I'm sorry.
Don't get him started, Minister. You know he'll show up at your house, brother.
About to go. I already know. All right. Of course, affiliate man Todd has jumped in. He says he's heading to New Orleans next week, carrying all the jerseys from Atlanta sports teams to go on a witch doctor reverse hex. All right, now, Todd, you better watch yourself, bro, because, I mean, you know all of those. I mean, Tyrone Poole tried to peep everybody last week talking about that voodoo. Y'all better watch it. I'm just saying, Todd, be careful, because, I mean, I might be able to scrape up a little bail money. I think I can kind of put something out there and say the preacher need help and get you out of there, bro. But be careful, because you're going to New Orleans. So anyway, yeah, it's just been a great week for sports in general here in Atlanta. Like I said, the Braves are back, full capacity. Place was rocking. They're still in the mix in the NL East because the NL East has been kind of a little up and down. Nobody's really breaking away from the pack. Atlanta United is back, guys. Full indoor watching the game. What y'all think about that? First, Barry Brown, what you think about it? Atlanta United back, full crowd, baby.
Hey, man, listen. People have the opportunity to get the shot. You see the country, the CDC has changed the protocols. Man, all I'm gonna say is this, do what you feel comfortable doing for you and your family. Me personally, yeah, I'm not ready to go in 20, 30, 40, 55,000 people. I'm not ready for that. But God bless you if you are. And hey, if you choose to wear the mask, do so. If you choose not to wear the mask, hey, that's on you as well. So hey, all I want everybody to be is healthy and safe. So I'm gonna keep praying for that and do what you feel comfortable doing. And also, please take other people into consideration. Be thoughtful, be empathetic, and hey, we all living out here together. So let's take everybody into account and keep moving forward so we can get the country back in the right direction and get the economy going and everybody stay healthy and safe. That's my prayer, brother.
All right, Mr. Tyrone Poole, I know you got some words for us. Come on.
I know, again, Atlanta United. I'm like, everybody get out. May 23rd, come out and support the Atlanta United as they take on the Seattle Sounders. Again, soccer is in the air. Everybody loves soccer. I like soccer. Really football, I enjoyed it, but really hockey, soccer, tennis. Now, I can sit and watch those sports all day long. And there's a couple of sports. Baseball, you know, I got to be in the right mood for baseball. It depends on who's pitching. That's where it determines in baseball who is pitching, because that pitcher can make the game go a little bit longer, especially those veterans. But again, the Atlanta United, you know, it's an exciting time. You know, they are world champions. They are world champions. And you know me, it's all about, can you do it? And they have done it. So get out and support these guys. And hey, May 23rd.
There it is. All right, we're going to go to Miss Tree.
I think I agree with Barry that people need to do what they feel comfortable with. If some people feel like they're fine with going to the games, then let them go. For those who aren't comfortable yet, they don't have to go. So I just feel that every person needs to do what they feel comfortable with. And that's just what we all should do.
And there you go. So as for me, I went out and ventured out. I put on my shades like this. And I hit the streets. I said, I'm going to go out and dine on the meal at the local establishment. I took, fortunately, I was able to get someone to come along with me and to dine. And so we did that. I was very scared, I will admit, when they said, okay, time to take your mask off and eat. I was like, okay, as soon as we stop eating, we can get out of here. I should be real. I mean, because I'm thinking to myself, I could kind of feel, you know, they put you, it was kind of like the social distance when they had you in the corner, in the booth, in the back, you know, so like it was kind of cool. People about 5 3/4 feet away from us. I was like, okay, well, it's not bad. But I kind of felt like the circulation wasn't too good. I was like, man, I don't know.
You feel uncomfortable. That's what Tree and I are trying to tell you. You might not be ready, Minister. You might need to stay in the house a little bit longer. You don't look very comfortable.
But I had to get out. I had to get out. You know, I had to kind of test the waters a little bit. And so I did that. And yeah, it was nice to be out in the sun and see some folks. And I'll leave it at that. You know, amen. And thankfully and prayerfully, I still feel pretty good. And that's all I got to say. But yeah, it looked like 2018 out there. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, people, they had the shades on, they had shorts on, they ain't had no socks on. They said, I don't care about nothing out here. I guess they figured in their mind, Corona gone. They said COVID is gone. I said, hey, man, I might got between your toes. You don't even know, sir, ma'am. I'm just saying.
You just say between your toes.
The minister, Jonathan Simmons.
Look, see, Tyrone not saying nothing.
Between your toes.
Tyrone not saying nothing, but look, I'm not from the country. I'll admit it. I'm a urban suburban guy, but I'm thinking if the stuff is in the air, you got sandals on. I mean, your toes are naked. I mean, I see people halter tops on. That's all exposed. Like, golly,
John, you making me cry, man.
Yeah, that's funny. That's a new one.
You got to stay in the house, brother.
I'm sorry. My bad. Okay, let me go ahead, man. Let me leave this alone, man. I'm tired of messing with this. I'm just saying, I'm glad to see everybody out. And look, the whole time, Tyrone been biting his tongue. He's like, man, I don't know what kind of preacher we got here.
Exactly.
But Tyrone, I'm going to do a close-up with Tyrone. He's been his face the whole time. He's been just like this. No, I'm not saying nothing. Oh, amen. Amen. All right, I'm going to stop. I'm act right.
Everything like that. So.
We might need to go to a break. You all right, Minister?
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that right quick. I'm glad you mentioned that. Listen to the Real Talk Sports Show. And the minister got to regroup, but we'll be back with more. Don't go nowhere. Okay, please don't go away. We'll talk some sports when I come back. I'll be back.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Sports Show again. I'm your host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons. And we're going around. Okay, I guess we'll go this way. There we go. We'll go around there. First of all, up in the upper right-hand corner, you see the lovely and beautiful Queen Tree Dolman and her special co-host. She got her own sidebar co-host over there. You see there. Down on the left-hand corner, we have two-time Super Bowl winner, Mr. Tyrone Poole. And we have a motivational speaker and author and 1988 Atlanta state champion, I think it was Class 3A, representing the Marl Mustangs, Mr. Barry Brown.
4A.
Oh,
4A. Largest classification at the time. I know it's crazy to see 7A now, but 4A, 1987 state champs, man. Shout out to the Marl High Mustangs, baby.
Amen. So I just want to get my glasses on because clearly I couldn't see. It should have been 88, 87, not 88. And then the Marl Mustangs. Big shout out to Coach Weeks and his crew. They will be playing. They played last week, so hopefully we'll have some game footage on them as well. So great stuff, man. Like I said, a lot of good stuff going on in the world of sports, and we're very, very appreciative to all those of you who have tuned in to the broadcast tonight. Again, big shout out to those of you watching on the replay on Periscope, those of you who are watching on demand on YouTube, and those of you who are watching live on the other portals like Facebook and Twitch. We appreciate each and every one of you. So we covered a lot of stuff here, and one thing we did not do, I'm so busy acting the fool, or shacking the fool, as they say sometimes here in Atlanta, that we bypassed our community outreach segment. And we're not going to do it because the guy is already in the studio, and we're going to have him talk a little bit about what he does with the Student Athlete Playbook, the founder and chairman, Mr. Barry Brown.
Well, good evening, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Tree, you got the great Tyrone Poole on the show with us tonight. And so, Jonathan, thank you for always inviting me to come on. Jonathan is speaking about our program. It's called the Student Athlete Achievement Program, and our nonprofit organization is called Youth Education in Sports. And if you watch my Facebook page and you visit Instagram and Twitter, you'll see a lot of the work that we do. And we're blessed to work with some great organizations like the Georgia Immortals Academy, Bow Bell Basketball, and we have several other organizations. We Are Game out in California, Elevate Your Game that's out there in California as well. And we're just happy that we're able to give, pour into, and work with young people, specifically student athletes, to help them move from wherever they currently are to the next phase in their life. So when you hear us talking about young people, we talk about effort. We talk about academic integrity. We talk about work ethic. We talk about focus. And we talk about vision. And the books you see in the back of me, that's the Student Athlete Playbook, the #1 book for student athletes in this country. And we are serious about holding our young people accountable so that they can learn what to do as they grow into adulthood and be able to provide an income for themselves and their family when that time comes, so that they understand that they must work, and position themselves to give back and help the next generation move forward and achieve just like them. So that's what we're about, helping our young people take it to the next level, and then understand it's their job and obligation to give back and bring the next generation up behind them. And that's how we build sustainable and outstanding generations to come.
Well, how can people find out more? That's really, man, that's and the reason why Tyrone is immediately applauding, because that's kind of his same vibe. He does a lot of the same things here, and that's why I'm just, everybody that's on this panel, you guys are do a great job in philanthropy and giving back and really giving a lot of your time. So we appreciate all of you for doing this. And Barry, listen, I like to do it, man. Let people know and how they can find out more about Student Athlete Playbook, social media, or website that you might have. Floor is yours.
Right. Well, first and foremost, you can go to youtheducationandsports.org. That's youtheducationandsports.org. Just spell it all the way out, the regular way you spell it. You can also locally. So I always got to give love to Morrow. I'm from Southwest Atlanta, but I went to high school in Morrow. So I claim both places, Morrow, Georgia, and Southwest Atlanta. But in Morrow, you can go to Nubian Books. Holler at my man Marcus at Nubian Books, one of the outstanding Black-owned bookstores here in Metro Atlanta. And you can get all your books there, the Student Athlete Playbook, the Student Athlete Journal, and the Student Athlete Playbook Facilitator's Guide. And over in Southwest Atlanta, where I'm originally from, you can visit Madu Bookstore inside of Greenbrier Mall. So go visit Sister Nia over there, and you can pick up all our materials there as well. And again, online, visit youtheducationandsports.org, and it'll connect you with all of our social media. So, hey, that's it, Jonathan. And I always thank you, my brother.
Wait, man, that's spot on, man. We appreciate you for joining us and checking in on the broadcast. Always good stuff. And like I said, man, there's a lot of good stuff going on out there, guys. I mean, you just have to kind of look around you to people doing some wonderful stuff and great stuff all the way around. So please, man, please, sir, when we bring these people on, try to support them, follow out what they're doing, and check them out. Okay, quick question for everybody before we get more into football. This is the NFL is really high on the vaccine. So the question I have for us today is, in fact, do you think it is a fair thing that the NFL is saying that now, in order for you to interact with the players on the team and to do in-person coverage, you must have a vaccination card? Mr. Poole, I'm going to throw that to you first, sir. Do you think that's fair or no?
Well, I've always believed you can't force anything on people. I do believe in free will, but at the same time, I understand safety. I believe that there are other ways that people can show that they are COVID-free. They can get a PCR test, which is the golden standard for testing for COVID-19. So if I'm going to a football game, you know what? Let me get a PCR test. Should I say, get a PCR test, and within 3 days or so, your results. Because also there are people who have underlying symptoms. They could be fully vaccinated and still, because of the underlying situations, their bodies still are not producing enough antibodies. So again, I think the gold standard, get a test each week prior to whatever event. And I think, that's the best way to go, but I don't believe you should force anything on anybody's will. Even God don't force itself on people. But I understand the safety aspect.
That's strong right there. I mean, that's really about as good as it gets. I mean, I really can't say anything good, bad, or indifferent about it. I'm going to have Mr. Barry Brown chime in real quick. Mr. Brown, what you thinking, sir? Is it fair that they say, hey, get out of here if you got that card?
Well, again, like Tyrone said, hey, man, safety first. Anything, that's what I teach my daughters. Safety first. Always be aware. Awareness is the first step. So with that being said, man, yeah, I mean, if you are not attempting to live a healthy lifestyle at this stage, after going through 2020, all of us should be trying to drink more water, take our vitamins and herbs and supplements so we can be healthy and produce what we need to produce. We need to be exercising more, and it's about living a healthy lifestyle, man. So yes, sir, you're doing it. That's right. Hey, get them mountain climbers in, minister. so hey, safety first, and if you do that, then I'm with it. Again, as I mentioned before, if you don't take the shot, that's on you, about your comfortability, what you believe in. And so I'm not going to even speak on that anymore. But hey, I'm just asking everybody to live a healthy lifestyle. Wash your hands. And hey, let's keep it moving, baby. Put on your mask, and I'll be wearing, by the way, you will see me continuing to wear my mask probably into 2022. So that's where I stand.
Wow. All right, Ms. Tree Dolman, I kind of know, but go ahead. Do you think that's fair or not fair? What's your thoughts about? You got to have that card if you want to get up close and personal.
I think it's definitely fair. I mean, if you look at the NFL draft, everybody there had to have been vaccinated in order to come in. So I can see how they're doing that. I just think that they also need to make the virtual interviews with people who are not vaccinated possible. So yes, they are going in person, and you do have to have a card to show that you're vaccinated in order to be in person, but they also still need to have avenues for those who choose to not get vaccinated where they can still cover games and do things of that nature as well. So that way they're covering both groups of people.
And let me say this, you can walk through the airport and they got a section for smokers, and they in there by themselves, their own little room within a smoking section. Why can't they do that for everything? You know, that's just me. If there's a will, there's a way. So, you know, maybe you put everybody who don't want to get vaccinated, put them on one side of the stadium. You know, myself coaching, I learned a lot when we were dealing with our players. We let certain players come up. Say if we got 3 groups of players, we would allow the first group to go down the stairs. Say if they got to use the same staircase, we let the first group go down, and once they're completely out the way, then we let the second group come back up. And then once they all get to the top, then we'll let the third group go back down. So there is a way that, you know, those who don't want to take the vaccine, that they still can enjoy life and not be alienated. But again, at the same time, I understand safety, to each his own. But again, if there's a will, there's a way. They put them smokers all by themselves in the airport.
That's a good point.
Well, there you go right there. Well, I'm going to do this. We're going to shift gears now. And y'all said, Minister, you ain't saying nothing. That's right. No, actually, at the end of the day, just to say this, in real talk, I know with the NBA, I think the NFL does the same thing. And speaking of that, we're going to bring in our man that covers the Falcons, the one and only, you know who. I'm going to introduce him in just a second. So I know the Hawks do provide that. Tree and I both are able to log on through the Zoom broadcast. Matter of fact, that brief mini interview that you saw earlier, that was provided by the Hawks through Zoom. I was able to get on there and ask a question, and so they will let you do that. Well, speaking of ask questions, if you ever go to any media event where this man is here, everyone, including ESPN, Fox Sports, NFL Network, everybody lets this man have the first question. Why? He's the embedded beat writer for the Falcons for AJC Sports, award-winning beat writer, and Esquire par excellence. The one and only D. Orlando Ledbetter is in the building. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Reverend Sims. How you doing, Reverend Simmons? Thanks for having me on the show tonight. Hello to everybody, Barry, Tyrone, and Miss Tree. Thanks for having me.
Well, good to see you, kind sir. I know everything's been on and popping there at the camp. Social media is buzzing. Todd is already asking this question about, not asking a question, but already making the rumblings about this young man that the Falcons decided not to draft. They said talk around Chicago is in the early going with no pads or nothing on. Mr. Fields is looking very, very sharp. So immediately they're asking a question, did the Falcons mess up on him? Immediately. And we'll talk. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know if you were addressing me on that, Reverend, but go ahead. We kind of covered that, but I had them going to the Falcons at 4, but after talking to them and hearing their reasoning and that they didn't have them rated as high as Kyle Pitts, then you know, we got to give them the benefit of the doubt here for the first 3 years or so.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you're not going to really know anything until, like you said, another 4 or 5 years. There's no question that you know, Justin Fields was a guy I thought was, I don't want to say a no-brainer, but kind of a no-brainer. You and I, and you mentioned on the show a couple of times, here's a guy that when this whole thing first started, he was considered really to be number 2 behind the young man from Clemson. And mysteriously, all of a sudden, the guy drops. People talk, and no one gave us a reason why he was dropping. He just dropped. No one said anything about his 40 time. There was just a little undercurrent about progression, but I tried to make any kind of statements that seemed like it's a racial statement, but to some degree, that comment of not going to the progression, I hear that a lot when it comes to African American quarterbacks. And somehow the guys can't read the playbook, so forth and so on. So I am kind of shocked. Hopefully Kyle Pitts can do what he needs to do, but I'm going to go back on what I said of you know, when this all first happened. I've never heard of a tight end leading their team to the Super Bowl. Just saying. So hopefully they got it right. Speaking of that, D-Led, the Falcons, what's been going at the camp? Lots of signings, They picked up several free agents. What's been the look so far without the pads?
Yeah, we had rookie mini camp last week, and all the rookies were there. 20 undrafted guys, 5 tryout guys, and 5 veteran guys. From the tryout guys, they signed 2 of the defensive tackles, Enko and Eli Enko, and then Olive Sapalaju. Hope I'm saying that correct. Then they also signed a tight end, Parker Hesse, and an offensive guard, Sam Jones. They're inching up towards the 90-player roster limit. But the practices look good, just running around in shorts. They're lining up. They're already in formations. They're definitely running outside zone. We saw the lines running from sideline to sideline. Definitely going 3-4 base. But they don't really have any nose tackles. That's why they signed both of those kids on Monday. So, we talked to Matt Ryan today. He gave his report on Kyle Pitts and talked about his, love for Julio Jones. And he didn't say whether they should keep him or not. He didn't want to get into the business part of it, but he recognized how important Julio has been to his career. So those are our updates. A lot of stuff on AJC.com covering those.
Yeah, so just to kind of speak on that real quick, and I'll flip it back over to Tree and then to Tyrone. So, yeah, what would you expect out of a guy that has connected to the tune of, I think, some 800 receptions between Matt Ryan and Julio Jones? So there's got to be a lot of familiarity with these guys. Julio, I think, 5 times has had over 100 receptions in the season. So, yeah, I mean, and this is a guy that, he doesn't catch a lot of touchdowns. This is a guy has made huge catches for this Falcon team throughout Matt's career. Matter of fact, many times pulling down balls that would have went into the sidelines, would have went to the hands of another player, would have been incomplete. So no doubt I can see where Matt would want Julio to come back. And certainly he's been a good mentor to Calvin Ridley. And I think he'll be a great mentor as far as work ethic and keeping your eye on the ball to young Mr. Pitts. So hopefully Julio stays around. Tyrone, what do you think about the idea of Julio? A lot of people just continue to buzz around that Julio might get traded. What are your thoughts about the Falcons keeping Julio Jones around?
I got to say this joke real quick. I want to know if D-Leg can step. Cute dog. You still got it?
Here it comes.
I'm trying to action now.
Let me get the thing. There he is, right there. There he is.
Cute dog.
I like that necklace.
But yeah, Julio, again, the guy still, I believe, can play. You look at his season records, 1999, just a couple of years removed, the guy had 99 receptions, and the year before that, 113. So this is what I look at, okay? Everybody talking about Calvin Ridley, all right? And this is what people don't understand as well. When they see Calvin Ridley get all of these receptions, and no disrespect to Calvin Ridley, but even Calvin Ridley know himself that Julio still demands what that defense said, where is Julio? It's almost like, where's Waldo? Where is Julio? We got to double him. We got to make sure we lean the defense towards him. Depending on the call, it could be now let's lean the defense towards Calvin Ridley. So the most important thing is going to be, and that's why Matt Ryan said he don't know where this offense would be without Julio. And that is what he's saying. When Julio's on that field, the defense has to know where he is, and that opens up the space for everybody else. It's just like Michael Jordan. For those who don't understand what Julio means, it's like when Michael Jordan don't play for the Bulls. Scottie Pippen, yes, he's still capable, but they're a different team when Michael's on that field. So again, when Julio is gone, their offense, Kyle Pitts, yeah, he better step up. All that talk he doing, he better step up because he's going to have an opportunity. And for Calvin Ridley, and like I said, no disrespect towards Kyle Pitts or nothing. No disrespect toward Calvin Ridley. It is what it is. Let's see how Calvin Ridley handles when the defense now goes over towards him and they're double teaming him, or putting the defense to where they take him out the game. Who else is going to step up? So that's how important Julio is to this offense.
There was some steam behind that. Miss Tree, what do you think? Should Julio stay or go?
I definitely think he should stay. I mean, we know that he's a huge part of the offense. He's a great player. The Falcons definitely need to keep Julio Jones, and I hope that they do, because as Tyrone just said, when he's on the field, it changes the defense, and they always do have to know where he is, and it just definitely opens the door for other plays, but you always do have to know where Julio Jones is. He's a great wide receiver, so I think they definitely need to keep him. If they get rid of him, I think it'll be a huge mistake.
Yeah, so no doubt, if you look at this potential offense that they have, D-Led, I think that everybody would admit that they would. I think the Falcons themselves would like to find a cap-friendly way to keep Julio, because there's no question that a Falcons offense that has rookie Kyle Pitts, an established young up-and-comer like Ridley, and the old warthorse Julio Jones, that makes the Falcons offense very formidable. And then you throw in the fact that they can now use multiple tight end sets, where they have guys that can hurt you from multiple positions. Yeah, that makes them just a more dynamic offense, I would think, with Julio.
Yeah, no question about it, Reverend, but the realities are such. According to NFLPA, they are only $588,000 of cap room. They got to pay the rookies $12 million. They don't have any more money. They got to do something with Julio or Grady Jarrett. They already went to every place else they could go. Matt Ryan, Jake Matthews, Deion Jones. Fowler took a cut. Davidson took a cut. And then everything after that is under $3 million. So unless you're going to cut 4 of those $3 million players, which you might have to do if you want to keep Julio, then you got to do that. But also, Calvin Ridley, his market value for next year is 11. He's getting a 5th-year extension. Then his market value, you got to try to re-sign him next year. You're going to need $18 million a year for that. So they're just in a bad situation, salary cap-wise. Julio's 32. You might can get another year out of him, maybe 2. But the finances are such that, they weren't planning on the salary cap going down. They wouldn't have had this problem. But now they have a very real problem with regards to, how to keep Julio. And one way to keep Julio would be if Julio took a pay cut. But who wants to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, who wants to do that? Is right. And even Tyrone laughing at that. He said, no. Tyrone like, no. Treat same thing. He's like, no. But okay, so now let me just ask this question. I've always been kind of in my mind about this. Okay, the salary cap is what it is. So now, can you go over the salary cap and you just have to play a penalty, or is this a hard cap? You say you just cannot do it, period.
Yeah, hard cap in the NFL. You have some rollover money. Like if you don't spend all the way up to the cap in the previous year, you get to roll that over. But they were up against the cap last year, only had like 1.36 million to roll over. So they don't have a lot of space. And the fact that the cap went down from 210 to 175 last year because of the pandemic, that's 2 good players right there you're gonna lose.
So that appears that's really the killer. The fact that the cap actually went down, whereas every other year it probably went up about 5 or 10%. So that's what's causing this extreme pressure on the Falcons right now.
Yes, no doubt about it. They had planned for it. Then they also had planned for some of these players that they had drafted to be good and be on rookie contracts. We're talking about Jalen Collins now, Isaiah Oliver still here. Deidre Sanat, John Kaminsky, they were counting on these kids being good and the defense being stronger, but now they got to rebuild the whole defense and they don't have any money to do it with.
Yeah, it's just an amazing situation they have right here. Well, let's go to social media here again. Evidently, something went on at the camp here. D-Led talks a little bit about this. There was some type of prank that went on. Evidently, a young man jumped out there and tried to make the team. Just tell us what happened.
Yeah, we had that too. I don't read ESPN, so I don't know what headlines they had. But yeah, we had a story about the young man, Jontavius Bryant from Austin P. He showed up at the facilities because somebody called him and said he had to try with the Falcons, and that wasn't really the case. But yeah, some of this story sounds a little fishy to me because I'm like, if his agent is any good, he would have called ahead and said, "Hey, is this legitimate?" So I mean, I'm not buying all into the hoax and stuff. Man, I feel bad for the kid, but if he's got an agent, his agent should have been the one getting the information from the Falcons about tryout. You're not just getting a blind text. Beyonce's not sending me a text saying, "Hey, D, let's go out on a dinner date tomorrow," and I show up at Stony River looking for Beyonce. So that's what this was.
Yeah, and I even say this right here. We've all seen that movie, Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's even to the point now. I think people basically are just doing things, and this is my opinion here. Hey, I'm just gonna show up because just like D-Led said, your agent is gonna be the first one to let you know that this team is interested in you. And then on top of that, the team is going to give you a ticket to fly to the facility. You ain't gonna just show up on your own, man. So sometimes it could be like a wedding crasher. You know what? If I get enough people talking about it, if I get enough stories behind it, maybe they will give me a tryout.
Wow. All right. Listen, I'm gonna have to take some tips on this. I mean, never too old to do something off the pale. So if y'all hear some stories about me going somewhere I shouldn't go, it's because this young man inspired me to act up. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, there's always
whatever. There's something called security. You can't just show up and get in where you want to get in, especially a Falcons facility.
Yeah, I would think. Speaking of that, D-Led, what is the protocol right now with the Falcons? Are they in a position where, in order for the press to have in-person contact, they must be vaccinated, or do they have to show, hey, look, I had a negative test? Kind of what's the protocol? I haven't done anything since the COVID hit, so I'm not sure.
Right now, we just got an update yesterday. We can show our vaccination records to attend the open practices on the 25th, 2nd, minicamp 8th through the 10th. But no more. No, if you're not tier 2 or tier 1, according to NFL protocols, no access to the NFL facility. So the media workroom remains closed, and the interviews will remain virtual for now. Now, some teams, Dallas and Denver, they are opening up. Their media's on the field. In Tennessee, also, their media's on the field covering practice like we used to, and doing in-person interviews from socially distanced areas with the vaccination. So it's going to be a team-by-team deal. So far, the Falcons look like they're going to be more restrictive than some of these other teams, and so we'll see how that goes. I know they kept my photographer up on the hill for 30 minutes. The Falcons photographers from AtlantaFalcons.com are on the field, all practice, shooting whatever they want. So we just want the same access that even the team's given to its own photographers. But that's probably we hope we just can ask politely for that.
All right. Well, I guess that's telling me I ain't gonna be nowhere near the field for a minute. I guess we'll have to go with.
The PFWA is fighting to have uniform rules, and hopefully by training camp we'll have a little bit better situation. The NFL and the NFLPA are negotiating too. I think the players, if they had their way, they probably won't get into the locker room. But what's wrong with talking to the players as they're coming off the field? Like we used to do for decades, wasn't even a problem. But now some of these teams are not as media friendly as they used to be.
That I guess with, again, the social media and the availability of virtual cameras everywhere, everybody's very concerned about something getting out, something, going against the policy or the team speak of that time. So I get it. I've adjusted to the Zoom. I've done them.
I'm tired of them. Tired of the Zoom call. We only get 2 questions. I got a list of 8 questions for Matt Ryan here today, and so I got to try to put them into 2-3-part questions. And then people are asking about his birthday and his dog and his kid, and we're trying to cover the football team. So I'm tired of the Zoom calls, Reverend, because the access is cut back the information that we can get to the real information that we can get to the fans. The people that care about Matt Ryan's birthday was with him on his birthday. Hopefully he had a good day. But we want to know how it's going with the coach, the new coach. What's Julio? How's it going? How's Kyle Pitts doing? Just basic football stuff. And now we having a hard time just getting that basic stuff to through the virtual calls. With the limited access.
Wow. Yeah, a lot going on. One last thing I'll ask you here, and then I'll put it back to the panelists. The videos I've seen of Coach Smith, he reminds me of a younger version of the previous Coach Smith. He looks much less user-friendly than Coach Quinn. He looks much more, it's about football, and I can see that his tolerance level is already starting to wane. And we already just in the first day, they asked him some stuff about, the young sick-round kid, about how amped up he was. He was like, look here, man, it's the first day. Okay, come on. So he looks like he's a no-nonsense guy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, like on the post-draft one, I was just asking what position the kid went. He got all snippy about that. And you're like, oh, we're going to play every position, blah, blah, blah. So at the end, they were like, anybody else got any more questions? I was like, D-Led, I know you got questions. I'm like, no, you didn't answer my first question. So now I don't have one now. It's like I'm trying to keep the depth chart up for the fans, and you can't even tell the people what position people play. So no, I don't have nothing for you. So we're off to a great start.
Well, ask you this, D-Led, do you think you could have survived in New England then as a beat writer?
Oh, yeah, no, I had Bill when he was in Cleveland. I covered the Bengals, and so I used to have to go up to Cleveland, and me and Coach Bill got along just fine. He knows what the beat writer's looking for. And, it was before you had all these cameras and stuff, where teams want to put stuff on their website. You could just bump Coach. I used to be on the field with Coach Smith, and he'd take my phone to call Julie at home. So, I mean, it was different, it was different. Me and Belichick got along just fine. I would have to stay in this little closet during their practice though, but they'd come get me when the Browns were coming off the field. So I would have been fine with Coach Bill in New England.
Let's go social media real quick here. Todd is saying what I kind of perceived. He said Coach Smith seems mad all the time. Say needs to lighten up. I mean, look.
He's got to be him, whatever he is.
I mean, the guy's got to be himself. And you got to think, you got to think what this guy is looking at. You got a younger guy. I'm not even sure if he's 40 years old. You got you have people questioning his hire, even though, if you go back and look at the stuff from the previous month before he was hired, everybody's talking about that he was kind of one of the top candidates for multiple teams. But the guy's looking at, he's coming in trying to turn around a franchise. He is totally hamstrung on his cap room. People think he was, but people are thinking that maybe this guy got this because his dad is the president of FedEx. And so all these things, I'm sure it may not come out up front, but that's got to be in the back of his mind that he has to come here and prove himself. And he has to change the narrative and the way things were done, where Coach Quinn basically was just a walking soundbite all the time. It was always a slogan here, slogan there. And he's like, look, dude, these guys are just not doing anything to hold one another accountable. So I can see where, like I said, even the first day, a guy looks like it's going to be a long season with the press.
We'll be fine. We'll break him in. He'll get over this. But yeah, because my thing was, and everybody's got stuff in the back of their mind. I'm like, and I got to go figure this out. I'm like, how did he become an offensive genius? He just handed the ball to Derrick Henry. What was genius there? I didn't get that part. So, so yeah, I want to see. He don't have Derrick Henry, so we're gonna see what kind of offensive mind we're really talking about here. But he came highly recommended from Mike Mularkey, who I respect and go back to the '80s with. Retired now, and Mike said he's a good guy. Straight ahead, earned everything he got, worked his way up. So, and Mike has got no reason to puff this guy up to me. But I respect Coach Malarkey and what he had to say about Coach Smith. So we're gonna give Coach Smith time to get his program in place and see what they do here.
Well, I go to you, Tyrone, again. You had experience with a guy who is, legendary for keeping it straight and blunt to the point. How was it really those years where you guys were like really at the peak, where it was every year you're winning, every year you're looking to either go to Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl? Kind of what was it like with Coach Belichick?
Well, one thing I would say, the reason why I asked D-Led that question about would he survive in New England, Coach Belichick was one of them type coaches that, he didn't give you a lot of information. He gave you just what you need. But at the same time, depending on when you catch him, he will have a little sense of humor. But at the end of the day, you can't say too many things to the media, just like they tell the athletes. You got to be careful what you post, what you repost, because once the information get out there, then basically your whole game plan for that week has been given away. But at the same time, I do believe you got to have a little bit of humanistic about yourself. And, the beat writers, they have a job to do. And yes, you want to give them information, but at the same time, you don't have to give them the whole dictionary, but, give them a little something that D-Led can go back and write about. And, but they still don't know the end of the sentence. They just know the beginning of the sentence. We moving on to the Cleveland Browns next week. That's all you need to know. And then he gonna do his information. That's a little joke that D-Led.
Yeah, I got it. Because if that's the game, you're gonna want to know who's blocking Myles Garrett. You're gonna start there. Who's covering OBJ. The matchups are stuff people like to talk about. So we're not asking you what coverage you play or what the scheme is. It's mostly just matchups. How your players are doing. Oh, we got an insurrection over there, huh?
That's what I'm trying to see. Did the dog go wild? No, I saw the fluff go up for a second. I wanted to make sure that the queen wasn't being attacked. That the dog didn't bite the hand that fed her. I saw double check. Well, let's go social media right quick. Todd is talking about Bill Parcells, who of course was the great mentor for Bill Belichick. He said Parcells was tough, but even he said you have to get along with the local media. He had great pressures. Coach Smith should take a cue from Parcells. Yeah, I ain't gonna say anything about the guy because it's early. And a lot of the questions, like you said, I don't want to say too much because I'm still trying to get my credentials. So I'm not.
I'll say it for you. But he's right, Trevor. And the local media's, they want to raise their national profile, but you're 4-12, so ESPN is not talking about you. So, yeah, you can create a fake story about Julio and whatever and receiving calls and then, go on your own TV station and say that. But, at the end of the day, the local media is going to be the one analyzing it and talking to the fans and the people you're trying to get to buy PSLs. ESPN's not going to be able to do that. So, and they're already paying you your rights fees and all that and so forth. So they talk about media partners as opposed to traditional media that's covering a team. And then now some of these kids and some of these coaches don't know the difference. They think going on a team's website is doing media. No, that's PR. That's something altogether different when you don't, the questions. You don't have to be asked about, tough questions to be cross-examined on the play call, or on your draft pick. You get on your website and tell everybody how great it is with no ability to be cross-examined. So, yeah, it's changing in the digital world, but, the readers got to be smart enough to know, where they're getting the information from, what's accurate, what's been vetted, what's just PR that the team's putting out there to, pump up their brand and try to market the team a little bit.
Well, they mentioned about new media, and I guess I would kind of fall into that to some degree. This whole idea about being, kind of I'm with a station, obviously, with a web-based guy as well. But, yeah, man, I was just listening to some of the questions, and I was like, that's it? I mean, they were very redundant, and they're trying to make us. And I can see where the coach getting irritated. You're talking about a guy. Now he seems to be a likable fella. I know you have to have a story, you have to have personality, but I mean, this wide receiver. What was he drafted in the 6th round? I think.
Yeah, Frank Darby. Yeah, 6th round. He's all hyped and stuff. You know, energetic kid. So the media gravitated to the kid. And
Right.
The coach just shot him down. He could have said something nice about the kid. That wasn't gonna kill him.
Yeah, we wasn't trying to do that at all. He was like, hey, the guy just got, he's a rookie like everybody else. We're not going there. And I get it. And to some degree, Parcells would do that same type of thing. I mean, he was like, hey, don't kind of get too excited. But it's just like when I look at the coverage, it's like a lot of times it's like, okay, what can you really discover watching a guy that you drafted or undrafted? He's on the field, like D-Led, you like to talk about this all the time. No pads, there's no contact. And you're going to get hype over a guy after the first day? I mean, I don't get Tyrone. Am I missing something here?
No, I think he's spot on, Minister. You know, games are not won with shorts and shirts on. So, yeah, I get it with the point with the coach saying, hey, this is mini camp, you know, but there are a lot of guys who probably these guys being drafted never thought they would be in this situation. And the thing about the public today, I don't think sometimes – I think the public sometimes they can't take the truth. They can't take the truth. If you ask me, did this person do good? And I say, no, they did not do good. Then it's like the public wants you to say, oh, well, at least he tried. No, the point is you asked me, did he do good? No, he did not. So, again, I understand where the coach comes from. You know, games are not won with helmets, shirts, and shorts on. So yes, there's a difference, as we would say as players. You got practice players, and then you got game players. All right. So come back and ask me that question. That's why when you asked me about the Hawks, I said, ask me after the season. Okay. Then I'll be able to give you the whole final write-up about my thoughts. But sometimes you can't see certain things as it's progressing. You got to wait until the end, and then hindsight being 2020. But I get it. Everybody wants to have everybody say something good about somebody, but sometimes you just got to call it what it is. Call it for what it is. It is what it is.
Trey, do you think you can give him some instructions on how to do a better press conference, help him out, tell him to smile more, or what you?
I mean, I just feel regardless of what you're trying to prove, regardless of, you know, if people have said you didn't earn this position, it doesn't mean that you have to be so stern and, you know, not friendly with the press. If you just look at life, the people who really continue to get ahead, for the most part, you have to be personable in some type of way. Yeah, you can still be a tough coach. You can still be about your business. You can still be no nonsense, but you still can communicate with the press, get to know the press. Our press isn't trying to twist your words and make you look bad. So he definitely needs to do a better job, in my opinion, with that.
Well, all right, y'all, you need to go ahead and do me right. Get me on that Zoom, because, you know, I can get in the middle. I can ask you like something like kind of like, you know, like magazine type thing and still get you a little question in. I can do both. So y'all need to kind of get me that Zoom. So I'm just going to put it out there, Falcons. Y'all see me. So I put the application in. Just saying, remember your boy. I'm just saying, hey, guys, can you believe this? Can you believe it's actually already 9:30?
Wow.
There's the music right there. It's already 9:30. I cannot believe time has got away from us so quickly. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in to watch us and join us. But, of course, we don't go anywhere until we let all of our panelists let you know how you can find out more about them. So, first of all, Esquire par excellence, D. Orlando Ledbetter, the floor is yours.
Well, I'll go quick. You can find me on Twitter at DOrlandoAJC. We got up to 39,000 followers. Let's get over 40,000 this weekend. Take care.
There you go. And you can see on the bottom, guys, scrolling by. Check him out on AJC.com to get all of his stories. D. Orlando Ledbetter, thank you, sir. God bless you, and we'll see you again. The Q Dog in the house. Look, I'll tell you guys, go on his Instagram page. He got some mad flashback when he was. I'm telling you, just go check it out. He still got the pop. All right, D-Led, appreciate you, man. That was D. Orlando Ledbetter. Let's go to social media one time real quick. Of course, our man Todd has to say, great show. See you next week. Appreciate you, brother, as well. All right, to the Super Bowl winner, Tyrone Poole. The floor is yours.
Very simple, Tyrone Poole 38, all social media.
There you go, guys. Shout, in case you blind, it's right there. Tyrone Poole 38. God bless you, bro. Appreciate you. All right, that was short and sweet. All right, the queen is in the building. Tree Dolman, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me at It's Latresa on social media and also Ms. America International 2020. And this month is May, is Brain Cancer, Brain Tumor Awareness Month. So you can also go to gograyforaCure.org or shop gograyforaCure.org, and you can purchase these awesome gray bracelets with the gray ribbon. And then I also have these for the men, the regular gray and the dark gray. And all of the proceeds go to life-saving brain cancer research. So again, you can go to shop gograyforaCure.org, or you can look on my social media. It's Latresa, and also Ms. America International 2020.
There you go right there, boys. That's from the queen. All right, everybody, you know me. I'm the minister, Jonathan Simmons. Yes, in fact, I'm a real life minister. Even though I'm the one that wears the shades, I still am very serious about serving the Lord. And so, again, you can follow me anywhere on social media. First of all, follow the show at Real Talk Sports 7. You also can hit me up. I got to change that. It's actually jsimmons@realtalksports.net. You would think I would know my own email. Duh. Anyway, Jonathan Simmons, you can follow me there, or you can check me anywhere out on social media at Minister J Sim. You can do that as well. If you want to give us a call, you can call us at 678-410-9833. I'll pop it up for you right there. Pam, there it is, 678-410-9833. You can hit me up there. And again, follow me anywhere on social media. But at Minister J Sim. All right, before I leave, guys, I always got to ask you the same thing. Do you have a relationship with God? That's right, the creator of the universe. Did you know you can have a personal relationship with him? How do you do that? Boom. Easy procedure. Number one, repent of your sins. Number two, believe that he sent his only son, Jesus, who is the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach. And what he did was this. He came upon the earth, became man and God, paid the ultimate price for our sins one time by death on the cross. And when he was raised from the dead, all you have to do is confess your sins and believe that he did that for you. And bam, two good things happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. One of the cool things is you no longer have to use anybody's intermediary. You can go to God yourself. That's right. You don't need the Monsignor. You don't need the pastor. You don't need the bishop. You don't need the deacon. Anybody. You can just go pray, ask in Jesus' name, and according to God's will, he will give it to you. And number two, the big thing is when you die, you get a chance to go to the most beautiful place ever created, a place called heaven. Every single building adorned with the greatest jewels, most magnificent beauty everywhere. Matter of fact, the gates of the city are made of one giant pearl, and the streets are paved with a gold so pure it's translucent. And all you have is happy people everywhere. No more death, no more pain, no more sorrow, no bad people. Matter of fact, it doesn't even get dark because the light of God lights up the whole kingdom. Don't have to turn the lights on or off anytime. And then you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I mentioned are not in heaven or in hell. There's lots of pain. There's lots of bad people everywhere. It stinks. It smells. It's hot. And you can't get out forever and a day. Now, I don't know about you, but like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, listen, until the next time, next week, please join us again. We'll go to social media one more time. And, of course, Todd has to give a big shout-out to...
Aw, thank you, Todd.
I tell you.
www.shopgograyforacure.org.
And we'll have that up for you on the show next week so you can see it. All right, guys, God bless you in. Have a good night. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.